We're standing up for peace, and we're doing it by speaking our SPRUTH. And it's a joy to have you guys together. Thanks for this. I want the folks that are watching this to find out about what some remarkable sign members are doing and how we're learning how to do it together. And as we head into June, and we know as part of June, there's a 100-day countdown to the International Day of Peace that starts on June 13th. But the 1st of June, there's Stand Up Times Square. Tariq Munib with his film, Free Trip to Egypt, is going to be in Times Square sharing that. And the whole vision of it's time to stand up. What are you standing for? And how are we living and communicating with each other is so relevant. So I wanted to hear, we have Adam Collette and Ben Bowler from Unity Earth and Heather Joy Bassett from SPRUTH. And we want you guys to have a chance to talk with each other and about what's happening here together as we get ready to launch synergistic campaigns in support of creating a worldwide movement for unity. So Mr. Bowler, you just returned from Peru. Maybe you can share with us, I mean, Unity Earth is such a dream come true for so many of us, but what does standing up for peace in this campaign mean for you, and what's your motivating vision behind it?
Well, thank you, John, and great to be here, and yeah, just amazing to see the last few months and the development of Sign and the manifestation of you know, that synergy that's unfolding, and great to be on the call with Adam and Heather today. Just got back from Peru and Machu Picchu, which was a beautiful, you know, pilgrimage on a personal level, and a very, you know, privilege to be there and seeing the culture of the Incans and the pre-Incans. But really, what's behind Unity Earth? It's interesting, John. I was just this morning catching up on some news and looking at what the results of the European Union elections were, and you know, just seeing the tremendous kind of movement inwards towards nationalism and towards you know, this idea of popularism and the challenges that you know, that we face as a global society. That really, you know, we've really got two choices. We either contract back into our tribal identities and back into our national identities and our racial and our religious identities, and we hold firm in that, you know, the illusion of that safe space. And I can understand why that feels safe for people. We need to understand why that feels safe for people, why that's motivating for people, lest we create another us and them. But really what Unity Earth is working towards is how can we expand our identity? How can we expand what we love, our patriotism? How can it expand beyond our nation to embrace the planet? Our religious convictions, how can they expand beyond our own theological interpretations to embrace, you know, the infinity of divinity? These are not easy challenges, but they are essential in our times. And really, by doing it together and working together is the only way forward. It's the only way to do it. So that means we need to embrace difference. We need to embrace that which looks different, whether it's a different opinion or a different idea or a different way of thinking. And we need to find a way to be big enough that we can, you know, individually and as groups and collectively, you know, expand our hearts to embrace the whole world. And that's what Unity Earth is about. And it's, you know, really using music and art and spirituality and the higher, you know, evolved tones of religious conviction and just deep ethical conviction and philosophical and scientific, and embracing all of these different elements in a united, related whole. So it's the task of our times. And, you know, it's very connected to what you're doing in Sign. And we've been building and building for the last 3-4 years. And some of our, you know, key leaders have been building for decades and decades towards this. And of course, their work is built upon those who've been building and building for decades before them. And you could say centuries and millennia before them. And really, it's time for us to take this message to the public. And to take it out from beyond the spheres of where this conversation's been happening, which is in certain interfaith and interspiritual, intercultural, peacemaking, peace-building activist circles, NGOs, and taking it out now into literally to the streets. So to see what's happening around the planet with, you know, kids taken to the streets for climate action, and the calls for that to now embrace adults and so many different organizations getting involved. That's what the Standing for Peace campaign is about. And the last thing I'll say is that really it's about uniting all the good that's being done. And of course, when we're talking about peace, we're talking about all the different dimensions of peace: peace on the inner world, peace in our hearts, peace in our families, peace in our communities, peace in our nations, peace on earth, peace with the earth. And all of those different pieces that come together, and to bring everyone who's standing for any of those different elements of peace together so that we can be visible, we can be seen standing together for peace and unity. And it's urgent and it's pressing, and the time is now. And you're on mute.
I was just saying, beautifully said. Yeah, perfect. Oh, gosh. So let's keep moving from that strategic vision to what the campaign looks like in more nuts and bolts in terms of, Adam, as you see it, because I know in June we're planning to launch the campaign.
Yeah, and I have to second you, John. The way Ben describes, the vision and the passion and the mission behind Unity Earth is what really has brought us, to this place. And we're on the precipice of, like he says, reaching out into such a larger audience and unprecedented scale, so that we can put peace in the center of the discussion. We need to be having these conversations about what does peace mean to everybody. It might be different, but like Ben said, this is an opportunity for us to create that space for anybody who's standing for peace in whatever capacity it is, whether it is internal, on family levels, or on national levels. How can we actually create, an environment where these are the stories that people see in their news feeds, and these are the stories that get picked up more and more. And when you Google peace, and the news articles aren't about peace talks breaking down, they're about, peace talks beginning to happen and shifting, like you said earlier, John, the culture, from a culture of competition to a culture of collaboration, and from division to unity, and eventually from conflict to peace, not just on a world peace level, but on an intimate level, on a brother or sister level, on a warring tribes level, whatever level it is. We really want to start to tell these stories. And, Heather and yourself and everybody in Sign, we know that there are thousands and tens of thousands of just remarkably inspiring people out there doing their work in their community and in the world. And we really see this as an opportunity to take our media presence for the movement, just to that next level. We've all been growing, John, as we've been working more and more together. And as Ben keeps saying, we'll get there, if we stand together. And that's where this campaign really came from, was understanding that, Unity Earth, really is just that invitation, that opportunity for us all to stand together, for what is good and what is better for humanity. So the Standing for Peace campaign, which we're super excited about putting together for the last few months, we're going to go live on June 4th. And it's going to be quite a unique way and a technique and a method to reach out, into the world. Not just where all of us who are in this space, are excited about being a part of it, but for people who maybe feel it in their hearts, but don't have the opportunity to put themselves, in this space to be a part of it, to go viral in ways that we can engage, the millions of people that we truly need to start to shift culture and make an impact. So we're going to be having a series of incredible, social media posts and articles and videos, and essentially looking at showcasing and profiling all of these stories that are going on over the next 16 months or so. But yeah, very, very excited about it.
Fabulous, fabulous. And I just want to highlight what you're saying about the fact that standing for peace, although it's Unity Earth that's putting that forward, what you're doing is creating it as a safe container for others to bring light to how they're standing for peace. In fact, isn't the domain name, if people wanted to go, where would they go? What URL would they put in?
Yeah, well, we're going to go live on the 4th, but we're looking at standingforpeace.com.
Right.
And essentially it's, Unity Earth is just this incredible opportunity and an engine, to start these sort of initiatives. So we've been doing, as Ben, even before I met Unity Earth, doing these incredible events around the world, bringing together diverse groups, and now moving into also being able to be a media engine to promote and support not just what Unity Earth is doing, but what the entire movement is doing. And I think that's the real vision around Standing for Peace, is it is an invitation, you know, for everybody who's already standing for something good in the world to come and join us as we stand together.
Right, right. I just wanted to underscore that, because that is for me the synergy in action. We're synergizing. This campaign is a container like that holds many other containers and then many other campaigns and other ways that we are uniting and finding each other. And that's just awesome. In fact, it was at one of those Unity Earth events in Byron Bay that I came to the Fields of Healing, that at the barbecue that when I was cooking, Heather arrived. And my world hasn't been the same since. And because of a very simple but powerful idea, like I said, this reference to culture you made before. I heard Peter Drucker's known for saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And, you know, no matter how smart we think we are and what strategy and structure we put in place, if we haven't created the culture that's real and authentic, and that is rooted in caring and sharing. And spruthing was this brilliant idea that Heather had that, thanks to you guys, I met. And again, we're putting that forward in the same period of time to launch a campaign for spreading the spruth. I mean, in this post-truth world, we need to be reminded of the power of speaking our truth with love and compassion. So thanks to you, Ben and Adam, I met Heather. And Heather, this is such a beautiful example of how it all kind of fits together. So what is spruthing, and how did this happen, and how do you see it fits into this vision of a standing up for peace and a worldwide movement for unity and peace?
Well, before we get to that, it just makes my heart sing to be here. And Joy's my middle name. The joy I have around the possibilities that are being co-collaborated and co-created here, and the communion that comes. It's something even that I tried to have in my business 30 years ago, to gather people together. That back then everyone was doing their own individual things. So I've got goosebumps rocketing through me now, because here it's that inclusivity, that we're the diversity, inclusivity, and bringing it all to one space is just extraordinary. And to have sign to be able to do that, then to have Unity Earth, Peace Stand Up, it's just, for me, it's like I didn't know that I had this dream, but it's all my dreams coming true in one space. So really want to honor you all for that. And Spruce, I literally sat on the end of my bed and said, okay, I'm selling my business that I thought I was going to be doing for the rest of my life, healing feet with heart and soul. And I had this voice coming in saying, it's not your future. And it was such a disruption, because I had this massive debate. It is my future. It's not. And I sat on the end of my bed and said, okay, help me out. Like, what am I here to do? I'm here to be part of massive change. Help me out. And I got an instant download, Spruce, SPRUTH. And it was like, great. It's great. You give me some made up word. What is it? And then when I put together, I was at my book launch and someone said, what's your first book about? And I said, it's just my story. And they said, yeah, but what's the message? I'm like, there isn't one. What's your message? I was like, maybe it's hope, maybe it's faith. I'm like, there's the message. And I said, permission to speak my truth with love and compassion. And then the person said, I have no problems doing that. I do that all the time. And I cringed and thought, oh, you do, don't you? And what out of my mouth came permission to speak my truth with love and compassion. And it's very different. A lot of people saying speak their truth. And their truth is, you suck, you. It's very much out there. And this was what I'd given myself, was permission to speak my truth about what was real for me, about what I need, about what's not working, about what is working, about what I don't even know what's working. So when I put Spruce with permission to speak the truth with love and compassion, all of a sudden I could see in business, with my clients, with my friends, with my family, where things didn't work was when I was holding stuff inside, when I wasn't talking about stuff. So then I don't have joy in me. I don't have peace in me. And I was asking my team members, I was asking my clients to speak their truth with me. That's really difficult to do, because I wasn't doing that myself. So I could see where the toxicity in business, in intrides in things comes in, which disrupts these extraordinary visions we have and the missions that we have. And so now in Sign with Spruce, that's becoming the foundation of our engagement of that space. That if there's an issue, whether it's a joyous one, whatever it is, that I'm really honest with myself, and then I talk to the person that I need to speak to, the person that's important to speak to. So it stops having conversations with people that destroys a lot of good that's out there. So to bring it into standing for peace, to bring it into peace projects, into unity, to have that sacredness of being able to be really honest with ourselves, and then to have those conversations and to create that safety in our organizations, in our family, in our friends. It's just, again, it just makes my heart sing. So thank you.
It all fits so beautifully together. So in June, on June 1st, in Times Square, Tariq Munib is going to be talking about the film that on May 31st is premiering in New York City, Free Trip to Egypt. And the Free Trip to Egypt film is going to be played in 500 movie theaters in the United States on June 12th, which is a day of unity. And also that day, there's a campaign that's to pledge to listen. And Tariq, who's another signed member, we met with Heather. He said, well, if we're going to have people pledging to listen, they better be listening to what people are speaking. It would be good if we had people pledging to Spruth while they're pledging to listen. And it just like fit like a glove, right? And the vision that we have is that there is a wave that awakens us to the courage it takes, but the power that comes from being able to speak our truth with love and compassion. So I am so grateful, like Heather and like all of us are. We sense we're on the verge of something that we were born for, that, you know, I knew it would be one day, but yesterday I didn't know it would be today kind of feeling. And people are rising in light of the challenges we face. So I really appreciate this time. I want to give anyone a chance to anything urgent they want to say in closing, but I wanted the world to know about the standing up for peace, the spreading the Spruth, as well as pledging to Spruth. Heather, go ahead. There's something else you wanted to share.
No, not right in this moment.
Okay, so the goal is to pledge to Spruth and then spread the Spruth. And
my Spruth in this particular moment, John, is directed at you. And my Spruth is, you know, just tremendous gratitude for your consistency and your energy and your leadership and your openness and your humility to support others and to be there to be that first follower that you've declared, you know, and you are a leader. And as a first follower, you are an incredibly powerful and important leader in my life and for our community globally. So grateful to you and the work that you're doing, and right with you all the way, John.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautifully said. Thank you.
I'll echo that, John. It's been quite an honor, and I'm very inspired by not just the man you are, but what you're creating and your ability to really see beyond and bring people, you know, into a space of unity and collaboration. It is the manifestation and the realization of unity and peace that we all have been dreaming of. So yeah, it's an honor to work on this with you.
Wow, can I say, game on.
Let's go. Well, and you know, it's probably worth saying too, because sometimes we in this, you know, family that's getting connected around the world with doing this work, we can have these incredible, joyful moments and experiences of relationship and possibility and hope, and certainly that's incredible, and it's an incredible gift. And at the same time, it's important that we realize just how big the challenges are around us and ahead of us, and how dire this really is. And you know, sometimes I'm just speaking from my own experience, you know, get caught up in the work with Unity Earth and the extraordinary people we get to meet and dialogue with and connect with and form relationships with, and all of a sudden it can look like the world's changed, but that's just our perception. And without wanting to dampen hope or enthusiasm ever, I think it's very, very important that we do acknowledge that we're up against it, that we are facing a world that is divided, that is fearful, that is full of challenges and threats. And, you know, we need to grow this movement. And what Tarek's doing, you know, we wish him all the best. What the groups are doing in Times Square with the standing, you know, what he's standing for, the Free Egypt to Egypt and the Premier, all of this is wonderful, moving in that right direction. But there's more to do, and we need to really scale this up. So I think it's really important that we recognize the scale of the challenge at hand. It is unprecedented. It is global. It is planetary, and it is phenomenal, the amount of challenges that we're facing at the same time.
Yeah. And just so you know, Ben, Heather brought David Wilcox into Sign, who his whole business is reach scale.
Cool.
Just so you know, there seems to be doors closing, doors opening. It's one of these kind of can't quite see over the event horizon.
That's true.
Take what you're saying to heart. And that's why I'm so inspired by Greta's call as we pull towards Peace Weekend to get everybody out on the streets. It's going to take all of us. In the end, everyone will know everyone did it. So yeah, Heather, did you want to add to that?
Yeah. And again, goosebumps in knowing that we are up against it. But I have this deep, deep trust and again, creating these spaces where people can be really open, that then allows us to see the diversity and the separation there, and bring the exploration of what is it that brings us together. Not looking at the things that separate us, is looking at those things that bring us together. So I honor that. Yes, there's that struggle there, and for me, there's a deep knowing that we can shift this with grace and ease. And I want to bring that possibility in, that it's with grace and ease that we can resolve that. So yeah, that's my spruce in this moment.
To be continued.
Yeah, beautiful. And there's the kind of, I guess the yin to the yang of that is that, you know, our hope is that it would be grace and ease, but our commitment is that whatever it takes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever it takes.